Hey guys, happy Thursday. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, replay viewers. I do appreciate you being here. Hello, thanks for joining everyone. I see you starting to pop in. I am gonna flip you around and we will get going. Hey there guys, how are y'all doing tonight? Happy Thursday. Hope all is well. It is time for relax and craft time again, and I hope you guys are getting a chance to just chill after a day of work. Love the energy. Nice shirt, yes, got the kitties going tonight. So guys, tonight we are starting the next block of the Splendid Sampler. So it's called Happy Happy, and it's by Kingwell. It's a block with a little vase and all sorts of cute little flowers. And I'm super duper excited about this, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So thanks guys for coming in. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we create lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery, and I'm also a fabric designer as well. And we are going to do, your cat's freaking out, oh. I like kitties, they're the bestest. So we are working through the entire mystery quilt sampler. The Splendid Sampler is what it's called, and you can find out more information at thesplendidsampler.com. We are on block 4, so it's just starting. There's going to be 100 blocks in all. They're released every Thursday and Sunday, and so one was released today. And if you go to thesplendidsampler.com and on their Facebook page, tons of people have them done already. I don't know how people can get them done so quickly, but we're gonna start it tonight. Yeah, so 100 blocks in all. It's gonna last the entire year, every Thursday and Sunday, except for I think like Christmas and New Year's. They're skipping those weeks. So anyway, here is what the block is gonna look like, and I am gonna do something a little different. I've been wanting to do a quilt for a while. I actually just drew it out in my sketchbook before this one came, so it's just kind of funny. I wanted to do a quilt where it was a picture of a vase, and you could kind of, it had different patterns in the water, but it looked clear. So it almost looks like a vase that's clear, but because of the color choices you're making and stuff, it appears clear even though it's not, obviously. So this block came up, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to try this little fake transparency thing. So we're going to give it a go. So here's kind of my idea of the quilt, my original quilt. Like I wanted a vase, and I wanted all these to be different colors. So I'm kind of adapting that idea for this, and I'm going to add some leaves and a bunch of little embroidery and stuff too. So, and I drew that out in the bigger thing too, but here's kind of my concept in my sketchbook. I'm gonna flip you guys around and I'll show you some more on where I'm thinking I'm going, and we'll get started. So let me know what you guys are working on. I love to hear what you're crafting. And thanks again for being here, guys. Has anyone else done this block yet? I'd love to hear. I know a lot of you guys are super speedy. Okay, so here is the breakdown of my plan here. Not yet, not a lot yet. That's good, because, you know, I can't believe it. Like, there's so many blocks. You're working on the block. It's cat-themed. Oh, lovely. Can't go wrong with a cat-themed block, that's for sure. But my mom has hers done already, and I don't know. I don't know how everyone's getting these done so quickly. Okay, so here is the template that comes with it. I've made a few more photocopies of this to adapt it, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. So this represents, these are all a piece of fabric that is appliqued on it. And you know, last time when we did the heart block, the block number 1, I did needle turned applique. We're gonna do a different applique here. We're gonna do a raw edge applique, where we first, when we cut out all these pieces in fabric, we are going to iron them to this fusible web. It's paper-backed fusible web. So you iron the fabric to one side, then you peel it off, and then you iron it to your back fabric, and then it sticks there. And then you can sew around the edge. So I think I'm gonna use that technique for all these shapes. So here is the original, and here's how I'm gonna adapt it. Oh, block 1 done, have block cut 2, awesome! Yeah, part 2, block 2, that's a lot of sewing for sure. All right, So this is my plan. It's a little crazy. So here's the first one and here's the second. So I'll just explain it a little bit so you don't get totally wondering what the heck I'm doing with all these fabrics. I'm going to add a tabletop in here. So if you can kind of see, I have this sort of a rule line in here. So this will be a different fabric. So I'll cut my square and then I'll just sew a strip across the whole thing. And then I'm going to make my vase into 3 parts. I'm going to have, this is the first part. I'm going to have this. It's a little curved. So this is going to look like it's going to look like a see-through vase, and it's going to look like you can see the table behind it. And it's like a little convex shape there, or concave shape, from the refraction of the water. So this is going to be the first piece of fabric. Then the second piece of fabric is going to be here. This is the water line. So this is going to be the second piece of fabric, and then this is going to be the third. And then I will stitch, when I stitch stems onto this, I will stitch right into this, and I'll probably stitch it a different color, like maybe a blue color. So that will enhance the see-through look. And then I'm going to applique all our little cute fabrics. We'll pick some light, bright fabrics from the collection. I'm going to also applique some leaves. So we'll cut out a bunch of leaf shapes. And then we'll embroider these stems. And in back here, we'll embroider a bunch of like leaves with little lazy daisy chain stitches on. Little ferny leaves. And then I just put a bunch of dots. Those could be little French knots or something. So that's the game plan, guys. Oh, thanks. Well, we can hope, right? So this is the idea. That's what I'm going for. So tonight I would like to sew this back shape with the table, and I would like to start on this vase. And then after that, all of this is just kind of the fun stuff that we'll get to probably tomorrow night. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited about it, Andrew. We'll see how it goes. So here are the fabrics that I'm going with, at least so far, and I'll show you it so you guys can kind of see this at the same time. All right, so this is going to be my background color. These are all fabrics that I've chosen to go with the whole quilt, so that's what I'm choosing from. I'm not choosing specifically for this piece outside of what I've already picked for the whole quilt. So this is going to be the block, and then this will be the table. This orange shape here. So then for this little bit in here, the refracted little bit, I'm going to use this bright yellow. So this will be like a tiny little piece here. So that it's got the same brightness and warmth as the table. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I knew you would love the new block as soon as I saw it. Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome. So then this is going to be the water. So I'm trying to make it similar to the background, but a little different. So it's not as bright and crazy as this. It's cooler because it's supposed to be a see-through vase. So it's almost like you're picking up some of the see-through color from the back. And then the top, which doesn't have water in, is going to be this, which is even closer to this color. But you still want to be able to see it because we want to be able to see the color. So then all these leaves, I think I'm going to do this gold printed green that we've been using a bunch. We actually used all these. We haven't used this fabric yet. So then this will be the leaves. And once we get that far, I'll open up all the other fabrics and we'll just choose little scraps for all of these. But I'm thinking they'll be light and bright to contrast this blue, this darker blue. So we'll do like pops of fun color and all that. And then I'm thinking these ferns will maybe blend into this a little bit but still be kind of these bright colors. So I don't know, I'm not that far. All I know right now is the vase in the background and there and the leaves. So that's where we're gonna start, guys. All right, so this is my plan. I made a few more photocopies of this so I could cut up the shapes and kind of use it as a guide. So I can't really see all that well, but here's my little arc and here is my straight line there. So I will cut out this shape and then I'm going to cut these pieces. We're going to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance over all of it and then sew it together. But first I want to work on the background square. So I'm gonna just, yes, measure twice, cut once. So for this beginning part, this background square, I'm just gonna kind of wing it. In the instructions are pretty easy. All it is cut a square and then applique these shapes onto it and then embroider little lines. So that's great. That part is super easy. So one thing that it does say here, though, our finished blocks are, or when we're finishing sewing the blocks, they should be 6.5 inches. She's suggesting working on a 7.5 inch square, because then we can play around on the square and then we'll cut it down to size when we're done. So I'm gonna do that too, since we have a lot going on and I don't wanna be scared of if I'm running out of room. So I'm gonna start by cutting a 7.5 inch by 7.5 inch square. So now what I could do is I could really measure where I want that table and then say, okay, well, this is 5.5 inches and then this is, 2 inches. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna use all my scraps throughout this quilt, so I'm not worried about having, cutting off excess. So I'm not gonna worry about that at all. So I am gonna do it the easy way, which is just cut the 7.5 inch and then I'll cut like a strip and then I can decide how high or low I want it. So that is step number 1. So I'm gonna scooch all these fabrics out of the way. I think this will be fun. We haven't used this yet in the quilt. All right, so I think I will have to press this too. And I got the iron all ready to go here. Ooh, we got a cut piece in there already. That's great. We'll start from there. I'm using this fabric, this pretty blue fabric, a lot more than I thought already. So we'll have to start switching it up soon because I only have this fat quarter of it. So what are you guys working on tonight? Thursday, it's almost weekend. Not quite, but we're getting there. Okay. Man, my workspace is getting small, it feels like, over here. My son wanted to watch Create a Bug last night. Oh, no problem. All right, so I'm gonna cut, oh here, let me tilt you guys down again. Sorry for the light back there, but you can see me, hello. So I'm gonna cut a 7.5 inch square out of here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I'm gonna square it up here and then we'll turn it and do the rest. Oh, so guys, I ordered some of those tabs that you can put on the bottom of your, okay, this was weird. Yeah, I have a little cut in there, so I'm gonna actually move it up. I had a little snip mark in here, but I bought some of those, I ordered them, so they're not here yet, but some of those stickers that you can put on the bottom of your rulers so they don't roll all over the place, so it doesn't slip. So I'm hoping those come at some point soon, and because some of my rulers I am not very good at keeping still. I'm going to be a master at squaring things up, though, after this, which is awesome. Or a master cutter, that'd be awesome, because cutting is, like, super difficult for me. I feel like it's scary. Next care tape works. Ooh, that's a good idea, too. All right, so let's rotate this, and we'll get our 7.5 inch square. Okay. I don't have very much space there. I have a little sandpaper tabs on my rulers. Been thinking about getting rubber ones. Oh, that's a, yeah, I'm not sure what these ones are. I think they might be rubber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to count manually just because I get freaked out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to deal with me not doing math in the evenings. Okay, so there we go. And then I got the 1/2 inch is built into this ruler. Is this for the seams? Oh, hello from Costa Rica. This is, yes, so this block, the designer suggests cutting it a little bit bigger and then trimming it down when you're done after your applique and everything's done. So that's what I'm doing, just to play it safe. All right, there is our 7.5 inch square. So really we're gonna be cutting, oh, she is? Oh, for fun. Oh, that's awesome. Well, you can tell that I totally love this block, and I'm really freaking excited about trying to see if this thing actually has that see-through vase appearance when we're done. That's kind of, I mean, that's, I like to try and learn something and, do something artistic whenever I do something new, and that's kind of my challenge here. So let's see, where is this drawing again? So the trick is too, since we are cutting this bigger, when I do the embroidery and placing it all, I have to remember to leave enough space so I don't, sew over my stitches ultimately. Oh, I'm really excited about this one, Vanessa. So, you know what I might do? Here, I'm going to take, so I'm going to take a water-soluble marker and just kind of mark the center of this. This is a 6.5 inch square. This is what it's going to end up being. I just want to have a little bit of a guide for myself when I start placing things. So I'm going to just, I think I'll hardly be able to see this at all, but that's okay, as long as I can see it a little. Because it's just on this really kind of dark blue fabric. I don't know how well it'll show up. All right, there. I can kind of see it there. You can kind of see it a little bit. So that's just going to help me out when I start to place things. Okay. So I think ultimately I might lower this just a hair so we can have more room for this stuff. So I still want about that thickness though. I like that proportion. Let's just measure it. How about that? Okay, it's about 1 3/4 inches. So let's add 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that's 2 inches. And then let's add, the 1/2 inch we got going on here for this 7 inch block. So what's that, 2.5 inches? Let's cut a 2.5 inch strip from here. And you know what? I might not even square it up. I might just cut, and then we can trim it all when we're done. That might be a little wasteful though. We'll cut it. We'll cut it nice. I know. I just love how graphic this is. It's just so fun. Okay, so we need 7.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Let's just do it right. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. So we'll go to there. This is an awkward angle. Let's go over the camera. I get a lot quieter when I cut. That's always kind of funny. All right. Again, notice every time, immediately when I'm done cutting, I put the safety on. Because that will slice through your hand. And we don't want that. I'm looking away as I cut. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of that scary, but it is such a nice tool. But yeah, you just have to be safe. Okay. Well, I can't go that way. So 2.5 by, oh, wait a sec. I need to go like this. So 2.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7.5. We'll go right like that. So this is going to be our tabletop. All right. Oops. Missed a little bit there. Okay, done with that fabric. It's nice to put all that, I like cutting in the sense that we get to throw a bunch of our fabric out of our way. So all I'm gonna do is line up, oh wait, I can't do it that way. I guess I will have to cut this off. So I think this is where we want it, I think. So it'll be a 1/2 inch in like this, or I mean 1/4 inch. Let's see, do we like that proportion? I'm wondering if I should leave a little extra hanging over just in case we want more table when we're done. But I suppose that's what the 7 inches is for too, so I'm going to just flip it over. I'm not even going to really measure. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go against myself. Let's see. Let's cut off. All right, I need some people to do some math for me. How many inches do I have to cut off to have my 1/4 inch? Oh, I just need to cut off 2 1/3, right? Or 2 1/4. Like if I cut off 2 1/4, then I can line up my seam allowances and I should be, oh no, I'd have to do 2 1/2. Or I mean 2. 2, you guys, I think I'm just going crazy. We'll cut it off this side. I'm gonna cut off 2 inches here. 2 1/4, okay, thanks, I need that. And this ruler doesn't have 1/4 inch lines on, so we are gonna switch that. So many rulers! Okay. 2 1/4. 2 1/4. All right. Thanks, guys. I need help on all this stuff. That's the part that just always gets me. So yeah, so we do have this scrap that we didn't really need, but I will most likely definitely use this scrap later. I'm saving all my scraps, and we're going to keep using all the same fabric, so I'm not too worried about that little waste. All right, so now we should be able to do this and have it be good to go, right? And if not, we have extra, so it's okay. So let's sew. Perfect, okay, good. All right, let's, ooh, you know what? Oh, guys, I gotta fix this quick. My phone is coming off the jack here, so hold on. Tighten that up a little bit. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're back. So let's turn that on. Okay, I'm not pinning or anything. So I got right sides together. Flipped. Oh, okay, here. I'll sew this and then we'll rotate it again. So I'm gonna back tack this just so it's more secure. All right, let's, how are we now? Are we flip back? Flip and flip, good? All right. Ooh, my tape's coming up. I'm kind of loving these colors together. I don't know if I would have ever think to put these together if it wasn't for this little project. So I think that's fun. I suppose I'll cut off my little backer and sew it back onto here, or my ender. Okay. So let me press that quick. And let's see, what direction should we press it? I suppose it doesn't matter so much. I'm not pressing open. I might press my vase seams open because we will be we'll be appliquing that, and I would like it as flat as I can get. Iron's out of steam. All right, let's turn this off and go back over here. There is our table and the top background. Okay, now we can move on to our little vase. So let's see. Do I have my other drawing here? Yep, I just want to keep track of all my drawings here. Okay, here's my original, and then here is the copy. So I'm gonna cut all these pieces out, and then we'll piece together these quilt as you go. All right, I got my non-fabric scissors. I'm gonna just cut out that vase. It's kind of a funny shape, but we'll go with it. Oh, yep, I'm gonna piece the vase. And I thought about maybe needle turning, appliquing the vase on, and then machine, or raw edge appliquing all the rest, but I think I'm gonna raw edge applique the whole thing just to make it easier, but I am gonna piece this so it looks all together. I think if we raw edge applique to these shapes, you'd have a funny edge, and I want it to be seamless together, you know, because we're going for that see-through look, so I want to piece it, you know, so that's why we pieced it here too, just to give us a nice, you know, okay, well that's why I was considering needle turning this once we pieced it together, because then this would have a nice clean edge, and then all our flowers could have that kind of raw edge, and our leaves could have that raw edge, and that might be a nice contrast for the flowers and leaves, but I don't know, I'm undecided. But luckily we're not that far yet, so that's good. So I'm gonna cut out these shapes, and then we'll make like a new little pattern from it. Actually, I might just lay the fabric on and then add a 1/4 of an inch around as I cut. That'd be the easiest and quickest, albeit probably not the most clean and perfect way of doing it, but we're the get it done type here. So I am doing this little arc. So you know what? I think I'm gonna mark the center in there though. Or just a couple, mark a few points. So I'm open for tips on all this stuff too, because I don't hardly do this stuff ever. Curves and all this, but we're gonna wing it and see how it goes. So let's get our other fabrics out. Here are our 3 fabrics. So I'm gonna just wing it. Let's cut our pieces. This bottom piece is this pretty fabric here. You know what? I wonder if I have a scrap of this big. It'd be a good time to start digging through those, I suppose. Let's see. All right, so I'm keeping all the scraps for my project in this little container here. Oh, so we do have a scrap for this. So this is probably, oh yeah, so this one's plenty big, so I don't need to cut any new fabric for that. It doesn't look like I have any of this as a scrap, but let's see if we have, this was the center one. We need this little zigzaggy one for the top. Let's see if I have any of that hiding in here. Such pretty scraps. Nope, doesn't look that way. So we will cut a new piece of that. But we gotta use some scraps, so that's always nice. All right. Let's open this up. Okay. I am gonna just straight up cut out right away. You know what? I do have an applique scissors where you can get down underneath here really good, but I don't have that on me, so we're gonna wing it with my scissors here. So I'm gonna just visually add 1/4 of an inch around. I'm not gonna worry too much. The only one I need to really be sure of is this one. This arc, I'll try and get as close to 1/4 inch. But again, if we're not exact, it doesn't really matter. We're kind of going for effect. So I'm going to sew these 3 pieces together, and then we'll... Ooh, look at that. Where'd he come from? Then I will trim the vase to the size that we want afterwards. And I'm going to cut it exactly the size, because I think we are going to just... we're going to just do the... Oh wait, you know what? I don't need to trim it yet. We're gonna do where we put the adhesive backing on. So I do wanna leave a little bit extra for when we iron that on. So let's just cut. How about that? We're figuring it out as we go here. I'll give myself a little extra playroom. Okay. I think I'm going to pin this now to do this little arc. I'm going to do these shapes a little bit better. I suppose I didn't really need 2 pins, but oh well. That's what we're doing. Yep, I'm going to use the heat and bond stuff I have. Let's see. I had this laying around, and I think this is it. So this is the the paper-backed fusible web. So if you see the instructions, you press it onto your fabric, and then you cut your fabric out, and then you can pull off the paper backing, and then you press it onto your final fabric, which will be our block here. So that is our plan. But first we're going to assemble this, and then we'll cut out, we'll finish this, and then we will draw all our shapes onto that paper. And then we will be ready to go. So I'm going to leave space on these edges. This is this arc I want to get approximately 1/4 inch. I'm just going to wing it. There we go, about like that. And I'm gonna just throw a pin right in the center there. That's kind of our center marking, so we still have that marked. So that right there is the point that we need to match up. All right, out of here. Pins. I stabbed myself with a pin. You probably can't see it anymore, but it hurt. Those are some long pins. Yeah, you know what? I should buy some specialty pins one of these times. Okay, this was going to be this fabric. So again, let's just pin that right away. We'll just use one this time. Okay, let's trim that. Again, I'm going bigger than I need. This one I'm gonna do that 1/4 inch on top as well because we're gonna be sewing another piece to it right here. So again, just winging it. We'll leave more space on the side. That'll give us some playing room later. And then again, I will do an approximate 1/4 inch here. This doesn't have to be all perfect like it did with all those little squares that we've been doing in the last couple blocks. This is definitely more of a just free-form deal. All right, I am again gonna mark that point though. I think I might just sew these right away. Here, let's try and do that point the other side. So I'm gonna match up that point to this point on this one. All right, so now that is where our curves match up. So let's just finish that off. So now I'm gonna just match up these two seams. It's gonna end up being this crazy bunchy thing, and I'm gonna put a lot of pins in. I mean, this is pretty little, so I don't need a ton, but that's what's gonna give us this curve. So I'm gonna just keep moving along the edge, throwing a pin in. A little bit more. I don't do too many circle arc things, but it's been something on my mind. So I'm wondering, I'm kind of hoping one of these blocks, that mystery blocks that we get, is like really arcy, like full of arcs and curves and stuff that we have to piece. I mean, that'll be a challenge, but I think it'll be kind of a fun challenge. Whoop, flinging pins. And if you guys, if I'm doing something crazy that is clearly wrong and you guys are like, hey, don't forget, like, you need another inch there or something, you know, yell it out. Yeah, Vanessa, that's kind of what my hope for this entire project. And so far it's been great. Just being able to keep learning different techniques. Okay, good, thanks. So this isn't a very big arc, so this isn't going to be like so difficult. Just a little taste of arc sewing. I probably don't even need all these pins, but you know, we're halfway there. You know, it's been kind of fun. Like when I first see the blocks, I'm like, oh, I don't know how am I going to do that, or how can I adapt that, or whatever. And then I get once I think it through, then I get super duper excited about it. Like this one. All right, so looking good. Wow, I cut a lot extra over here, so that's a little odd. Well, it's gonna be fine. I know my center point is good enough. And again, you know, we're just going for a slight arc here. It doesn't matter so much. So let's go back over here. Here is my little magnetic guy. So I'm gonna just keep rotating it so I can stay on that scant 1/4 inch. Moving away the fabric underneath in case it gets bunchy. Whew, have to concentrate through this. All right, let's guide this a little bit here. Oop. Okay, let's get my little ender thing here. I'll need a new one of these soon. It's all crazy full of thread. Okay, so let's see how we did here. We should have, I kind of piddled off at the end there, but you know what, we're learning. Oh, I got a little pucker in there too. I almost want to take that out. You know what, I think I might. Just so that, I think the main reason is so that, well, I was having problem with my needle pushing down into, or my fabric pushing down into my machine, and they mentioned that having a starter and ender here helps with that, and it also helps level it out so that this is the same width or the height as what the two pieces of fabric together that I'm putting through, so it just kind of helps. And you know what, guys, I think that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna seam rip. This is the first seam ripping of this, unless you know what, this fits. Yeah, I'm gonna seam rip it, at least from here on. I should probably just do the whole thing, right? And you don't have to clip long threads. Oh, yeah, that's true too. No long threads to clip. All right. first seam ripping. Let's get it going. It's hard holding these tiny pieces. All right, so now, oh, I got some back stitches in there yet. So now I should just be able to zip right through it, but these pieces are so little that I don't know if I trust myself to do that. All right, I don't know. We're just gonna keep picking. I know this isn't the fancy way of using a seam ripper, but I'm not good enough to do it the other way yet. So what you're supposed to do is then point the ball side down, and then you can get it in the seam and just shimmy all the way up. But it's being kind of difficult for me with these little tiny pieces to lay flat like that. Okay, we're gonna try this again, guys. Oh, this isn't very arced though to begin with. Let's get these out of here. Okay, let's try that again. Whew. My leaders and enders are blocks for another quilt. Oh, nice. 2 for the price of 1. See, that's awesome. All right, let's turn this off again so the lighting adjusts. All right, little piece. We're gonna do this again. Let's kind of get a little center area here. We're gonna just wing whatever is the center. I'm kind of pinning the wrong direction. I should be, oh, maybe this is how to do it better. I was sewing from the other side, like the blue side up. Maybe this would be better because then I can move fabric out of the way a little bit easier. All right, see, we're learning already. Have this side up. I think will be easier. Put 2 more in here. Ow! Ah, stabbed myself. Here's kind of where I went wrong last time, I think. Whew. There's a lot of concentrating tonight for this. Well, that's good. We did that fun embroidery last night, so that was my relaxing. This is my concentration exercise project. Also, pin at the seam allowance and not the edge. Oh, see, that's a good idea. All right, maybe I'll adjust. Pin at the seam allowance. That makes total sense. Let's adjust. That'll help me anyway to sew. I like it. Yeah, here's where it gets a little fluffy. All right, I think we're okay on that side, but yeah. So we did the seam allowance edge on this side. Okay. Oop. I suppose we need to turn it on first. There, this is definitely easier with this side up. Well, I don't know. In theory, it seems easier. Because this is the side that was bunching up, so now I can see what it's doing a lot easier and move things out of the way. Oh, if you drift off to dreamland, that's no problem. All right, I'm going to remember that, though. Pin at the seam allowance, because that makes total sense. All right, here's where I want to move that bulk out of the way. There we go. Oops, did I just add it back in there? I think I looked up and then I got off there, but I think we're still good here. All right. Let's see how this goes, and we'll do this. We'll pop this guy in the front again. All right, now let's see what it looks like. Okay, that looks better. I'm glad I went back. So should I be clipping these? Probably. It's probably not a bad idea to just put a few deals in the seam here. Okay, let's press this and see what we got going on. All right, I think this is doing the job here, people. Yay. Okay, awesome. So we just have a little slight arc going here, which is exactly what we're going for. So let's get back over here. Man, I'm losing my supplies everywhere today. I lost my steam ripper to the floor. All right, so again, we're gonna be trimming this down quite a bit. But again, I'm gonna wait till, oh, you know what? I was gonna press this open. I think I might still do that. I'm gonna press this open just because I don't want all this bulk here for when we do the applique. But here, I can show you what this is like. So now we'll do that top piece. Here's that water piece. And we'll still go by that 1/4 inch. So the water we're gonna want flat though. I think we'll leave it there. We'll just make sure to trim off some there. So, okay, this is the part that's we're gonna trim off so it's a little flatter. Wait, right here. So we're actually gonna trim it to that. So we just have to remember that it's okay that this is angled. We're going to keep these squares up and down is what we're going for. But here you can kind of see the effect already. So, you know, this is supposed to be like you're seeing through glass and it's kind of this bright color from the table coming through, even though it's not the same pattern or anything like that. And then this is the little water, and then on top is going to be the piece that's just glass that doesn't have water in. So that is what we'll do now. I'll sew it first, and then we'll press the seams open all at once. All right. I just need this little piece yet. Oh, thanks. So far it seems to be working. I still feel like I'm totally just figuring it out as we go, but you know, that's okay. It probably wasn't a huge good idea to use all this directional fabric, but I think we're gonna be okay. So I'm gonna just throw a pin in there. Okay, yes, these pins are clearly too big. All right, so now this is the only edge that let's trim the other way first. All right, this one I can have a bigger edge, and then this way is where I want that 1/4 inch again. I might even go a little shy of a 1/4 inch because I think I want my face a little shorter so we can have more room for flowers. All right. Oh, this is getting that effect. If you imagine the correct shape, I think we're onto something maybe. And then once when you, I don't know if you can imagine. Let's see. Do I have any scraps around? I don't know. I was just gonna see like if we have fake stems in there. Let's see. I think I have some floss in here. So imagine like this is a stem. So it'll be as if we're seeing through it because we're gonna stitch the stems all the way down into here. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Brittany. I hope so too. Oh, you like it already? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so this we don't have to be too careful with. All we need is that straight edge on top, which should be easy peasy. We just go like that. So let's sew that, and then our vase is almost done. We won't trim it to size yet because we're gonna have to draw the shape onto our fusible first. So we won't make it the pretty vase shape yet. I didn't back tack on that, but that's okay. All right, let's press that quick. Here, I'm gonna shush you guys over here again, quick though. Moving around a lot tonight. So here's our base. Oop, there we go. So I'm gonna press these open, but I'm just gonna get it started by pressing there. No more steam. I think I need some steam. But yeah, so this is like the water line. But let's get these pressed open, because that will help us reduce bulk later when we do the applique. I don't know if I've used that fusible with something I've pieced. I usually just do solid fabrics, so I hope it deals with the seams okay. But we're going to be stitching it down when we're done anyway, so it's not going to matter so much. Oh, now I should really, if I'm going to be sewing this open, I should cut notches out of here to reduce some bulk. So I'm going to do that quick. Just a few notches. So that helps reduce bulk of the fabric, because otherwise all the fabric's going to want to overlap. You know, I do have a trick for this, and unfortunately I'd have to run to my office, but I'll bring it out in case we need to do it again. I use a pinking shears to clip across all this, because then you're putting on all of those little triangles all at once, and you don't have to do this little back and forth snipping. So, pinking shears. All right, now let's press it open. Yeah, so this will help reduce bulk when we do our little, our fusible. Let's give it one last press. Ooh, I like this idea of curves though. I definitely want to do a curvy block one of these times. But here we are. So this is our see-through, our see-through vase, kind of. I think this will, this little piece maybe will go under a little bit. So then we will, if you're going to use the under, you could trim the seam allowances. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that too. I will trim my seam allowances so there's hardly anything there, because these are pretty wide and thick right now. Any ways to reduce bulk is going to be good for us when we use that. But again, we're going to be sewing it all down. So here's the shape again. So that seemed to work. So ultimately we'll cut it down. So let's just let's fold it in and kind of see what we got happening here. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I mean, this is a little smaller, but we can get a sense of it there. There. So that's going to be our little vase. That's see-through, right? I think once we have all the flowers and we have the stems stitched in here, I think we'll get that effect. But yeah, so that's what we're going for, a little see-through transparent vase with patterns and stuff still, which is an extra challenge. You know, if we did solids, we could really match solids to have it look really real, but you know, like this is a leap going from here to here. But since it's so bright, I think we get the effect, and that these are so close to this. So all right, guys, that is it for the night. I think this is a good start. I am liking how these colors are looking together. They're really bold. I think bolder than if I would have just picked colors from the beginning. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, we even got our little arc going, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm gonna flip you guys around and we'll end it up here. There. Thanks guys for joining me doing that. There's a lot in there that I wasn't quite sure I knew what I was doing. So thanks for the help and the measurements. I do really appreciate it. So we're gonna pick this up again tomorrow at 9:30 Central. And yeah, we will do all the applique stuff. We'll work with this stuff, which will be kind of fun. We'll cut our leaves, we'll cut our little flowers, we'll pick little colors for the flowers, and we're gonna get everything glued on here, I think, tomorrow. And then after that, we just have to stitch around everything and then add our little floral fluttery details. And then that'll be it. So, yes, have a great Friday tomorrow, guys. And have a great evening. Thanks again for joining me. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Good night. Good night, guys.